Greetings and welcome once again to Inflection Point, the podcast where we get entrepreneurs and people who are starting their own businesses or their own ventures to share with us stories about their journey. My name is Yvonne Jerry, and do I have an interesting conversation lined up for you? I'm super excited to have Marley Mwanza here with me, and I'll give him a minute to introduce himself and to talk about what he does. But karibuni sana and welcome, Marley. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you, Yvonne.
So I met Marley. Actually, you're one of my newer friends, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
So just met you
June last year.
Yeah, just about a year ago.
Yeah.
And a little secret I'll tell you guys is he's actually the one who got me onto this podcast journey, because I'd always wanted to do a podcast, but I was not sure how to do it. Mm-hmm. And you had just started yours.
Yes.
Which is what we're going to be talking about. Mm-hmm. I see. I've already started rambling on. Let me pause there.
Okay.
Please introduce yourself, Marley. Just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay. So Marley Mwanza. I normally pose at the mtoto. Just let it sink.
Yeah,
that's my grandfather's name. Love the name. I am a father. Mm-hmm. I am a podcaster.
Yeah.
And I'm an insurance expert.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think those three, and now including disciple of God.
Yes.
That just describes the full of who Marley is.
Yeah, child of God. I love it.
Yeah.
So, definitely an insurance expert. In fact, I remember even for me when I was trying to figure out what health insurance to go with and all that, I came to you and you gave me such good advice. Did I tell you thank you?
It's public now.
It's now publicly saying thank you for sharing your expertise. But tell me a little bit, because I know that when you were starting the podcast, you were holding down a corporate job.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that journey. What made you think of starting a podcast?
Okay. I was still holding down a corporate job, actually.
Yes.
So I have a podcast. It's called the Truth Be Told podcast. We co-host that podcast with Mama Bima Kenya, Charlene Kimara. It's a lot about insurance. Not just insurance, pure insurance, but how financial well-being can be achieved through protecting. Yeah, because we talk about how to make money a lot, but how do we protect that money? And that's what insurance is about.
Very true.
That notwithstanding, it didn't start as that.
Oh.
I did not start as that. So I had this idea of having a podcast like 7-8 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I'd see a lot of podcasts. I'd go online, I'd go on Spotify, I'd watch Vusi, Tembe Choir, and I'm like, that's what I want to be.
Yes.
But I'm like, how do you start this? How does someone get to a point where they just engage and talk to an audience? So I did have that dream for a very long time. In fact, I crafted it. I called in my brother and sister, and they were my people. My brother was my producer. My sister was my social media person. And that was all imaginary for a very long time. And we just kept talking about it, creating, thinking, this is how we are going to do it. And initially, my podcast was supposed to be cover a niche, which was something that I was going through at that time, 7 years ago. But it never really materialized. And hopefully, actually, in time, I'll be able to start that podcast. But then, fast forward, last year, I met a gentleman, called Murioki. And we have this conversation, and I tell him how deeply I want to start a podcast.
Yes.
And he connects me to some people. He actually connects me to some Mzungu guy.
Yeah.
I do that connection. We try and talk. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Connects me to another person, some radio personality. Again, it doesn't work out. So I felt a bit of despair. I'm like, how really does someone get to start this?
Yeah.
Then he said, why don't you start where you are? Why don't you start with what you know? Mm-hmm. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, you work in insurance. You've been there for a while.
Yes.
Why don't you start there? And I'm like, actually, I've been in the insurance industry now 11 years, and it still remains a mystery to very many people.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, only 2% of Kenyans are insured to date. And I was like, oh, I can start there. I can talk about insurance. And there's a way I talk about insurance that people get. And he said, yeah, let's start there. And to top it off, why don't you co-host it with someone? And he said, who do you think? We brainstorm. And he's like, but Mama Bima, is Mama Bima your friend? I'm like, oh yeah, actually.
Wow.
I can talk with Mama Bima, and Mama Bima has been online for a while.
Okay.
So I prepare a whole pitch, it was a whole presentation.
Yes.
Because I'd been doing this for almost 7 years of preparing.
Wow. Wow. You definitely over-prepared.
Oh, I over-prepared completely.
Yes.
So I called Mama Bima, hi, can we meet? There's something I want to run by you.
Yeah.
She says, why not? And we meet. And 5 minutes into my pitch, she's like, Marley, I think you're trying to sell, and me, I'm sold. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
When can we shoot?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean, when can we shoot? I've been thinking about this for the last 7 years. How does the wonder just shoot? It's like, no, but let's shoot. Do you have a studio in mind? I'm like, yeah, actually, I do have a studio in mind. Call them. Ask them, can we go there now?
Oh.
I'm like, okay. So I call my guys, like, hey, can we come? Say, yeah, let's go. So we go there. I call my sister. Charlene calls her friend, and we go and we sit and we say, this is us. It's Marley and Charlene. How much is this thing? Long and short is, by the time we left there, we had already put down a deposit for a shoot.
Yeah.
This was a Tuesday.
Yes.
By the next week, Wednesday, we had 2 episodes out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. So you came from think about it for 7 years.
Yes.
To then just starting immediately
and it in 5 days.
Wow.
Yes.
I love it.
And it was so natural. The first episode we sat and we were like, okay, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
It's like, so I think insurance ni wezi. Let's start with insurance ni wezi. and it was so odd because we are literally saying the things that people say about insurance people, and we are addressing it as is.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. We talked for 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
Non-stop.
Yeah.
Granted, we are both yappers.
Yeah.
But
but I like that because the fact that you said 2% of Kenyans have insurance.
Yes.
It means there's this whole universe of people who don't understand, and maybe they're the ones who are saying insurance niwezi, or or whatever it is. Correct. So you've actually brought it out. You're bringing out things that maybe we say back there, behind there, and you've brought it to the fore. So that's why it's a good conversation.
Agreed. That's we are basically saying, as you said, what is unsaid.
Yes.
And there's an assumption that insurance is big. The insurance companies are big. We see the tall buildings in Upper Hill. We see the tall buildings in Westlands. And we think this is a very big thing.
Yeah.
It is big, granted, but it can be so big. It is so much bigger than... what is out there is so much bigger than what is already in here. Yeah.
No, that's true. I think I came from the world of financial inclusion, where we're trying to innovate around financial inclusion. I can tell you, we're trying to deal with payments, but we try to figure out insurance, we try to figure out savings. Yeah. Those two pieces are really difficult because also typically, our priorities, I need to eat today.
Yes.
Tomorrow will take care of itself.
Agreed.
That whole insurance piece is quite something.
No, it is. And we are very dependent on social insurance. We are dependent on our social capital, our people that are surrounding us, your mother, your father, your children. And it works when you, unfortunately or fortunately, it works.
Yeah.
Today, if I call my mom and tell her I'm in trouble,
she will send you something.
She will send me something. The issue is how much.
Yes.
And I think that's what we try to do with insurance, just to kind of predetermine the how much, which is what most of us don't have. So today, if you call your 10 friends and only 2 come through for you, what happens? And you've not felt the need that you have.
Yes.
Then how can you secure that?
That's true. That's true. I like what you said about your co-host, Charlene, kind of like inching you forward. Is there something do you feel like you had to get over some mental block or something to be able to actually start the podcast?
Yes. I needed to get over fear, over preparing, perfection, Charlene is just Charlene, and she's an amazing blessing to me. But she was just like that. You have the idea, you have the smarts, you have the wit, you have the language for it. What is it you're waiting for? If it's money, you start with whatever little you have. If there's one thing I have, and this has been said in many, I'm sure, in many a podcast and many a book, that the power of small steps.
Yes.
It has been said. For me, it was practical.
Yeah.
It was the money we have is for today.
Yes.
The little that we can collect, we will shoot today.
Yeah.
The next one, we will figure.
Yeah.
And the thing is, amazing thing is we've never lacked.
Okay.
There is no week that has passed since we started at that time that we've not managed to put out an episode out there, or to put out a reel, or to put out some content out there. It has never lacked. So in terms of resources, not lacked. In terms of content, people are willing and able to speak about this topic. There is so much need to engage. So I think until you get to start, until you get to overcome those fears, which for me were serious.
Yeah.
It also meant putting myself out there. You mentioned I have a corporate job.
Yes.
So there's the fear of, okay, what does this mean for my job?
Yeah.
How do I balance the two? And with time I realized it's actually a complementary. It's not a stumbling block. It's a complementary, because now when I go to pitch for the insurance products I sell for my organization, then I'm a trusted voice.
That's
so
true.
I'm not just willing to come to you on one. I'm willing to shout it in public about what I believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that. And I like the idea of people speaking for you. So, and sometimes we really limit ourselves. So, the way you're saying that your co-host said, but you're this, you're that, you're the other.
Yes.
So many of us get told these things. People out there, our mbogi, so to speak. Mbogi actually can see the greatness in us, but we don't even recognize it until we actually listen. So it's interesting. We should, of course, there's always the naysayers, but there's also the good people. So we should listen to them as well.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Since high school, I would have people telling me you have such a powerful voice. You'll need to be in radio. You'll need to be on TV. And of course, I am not on radio, neither am I on TV.
Well, now you're on TV and you'll be on Spotify, so that's like radio.
Please. And I do definitely want to be on radio and on TV in time. Probably one of those late bloomers.
Yeah.
But this people kept saying, and I'm like, what do you mean? At some point, I would preach. And when I speak on stage or on the pulpit, people are like, there's a way you speak things, there's a way you say things. And I'll come down from that pulpit with so many people talking about feedback of what I said. And with time, I was like, okay, maybe there's something there. But even as I do that, there's school fees to be paid.
Yes.
There's all these other needs that
The
need to be
bills,
met.
the bills.
So I'm thinking, you guys, wachana sauti. I need to sell insurance. That's what brings money to the table.
Yeah.
So with time, I had to, once now I talked to Charlene, I was like, oh, but there's something here. And then we started doing it, and now feedback comes, and I'm like, oh, so I can actually do both. I can do this thing that I'm very passionate about, that is clearly within my natural capabilities and resources, and still do my day job, which complements each other. Yeah.
So do not limit yourself. I like that.
Yes.
Because sometimes we limit ourselves and we don't bring our whole selves to our lives.
Yes.
Only one thing.
Yeah.
I love it. Really interesting conversation. Thank you so much, Marley. If there was one tip or just one word of advice you'd give to someone who's trying to start something, what would you tell them?
I've already mentioned the power of small steps.
Yes.
I think that's important. It needs to be there. But I would also add, dream big. I am now a firm believer There's a verse in Ephesians that talks about God is able to do immeasurably more than we ask or imagine. And I think as believers and even as non-believers, when we talk about dream, we really limit it. We as much as we are dreaming, it's within our capabilities. We are here.
Yeah.
If your child wants to be a footballer, you're like, yeah, I will help them, but you don't think they'll get to the Premier League.
Yes.
If you want to have a company, you're like, okay, I'll have a company, but you never think it will be Amazon kind of company. We have a ceiling. Both maybe because of culture, maybe because of your surrounding, maybe because of how you've been brought up or your resources. We have a limit. What I have learned is I need to go beyond that limit. If I thought I have dreamt, and not just from my podcast, from the things that have happened in my life to date and the things that I've seen, if I thought I have dreamt, I have not even started.
You've not started.
I have not even started.
Okay.
So if you're thinking of doing something, whatever it is, that is done. That is the bare minimum.
Yeah.
God is like, sawa, that's all you want. That I will do for you.
Okay.
What more
Yeah.
can you get?
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. So small steps, the power of small steps,
Yes.
and dream big.
Please.
All right.
Please.
Thank you so much, Marley. Thank you
you,
for sharing
Yvonne.
your experience
Asante.
and your knowledge with us and with our audience.
Yeah.
We're so happy that you could find the time to come.
Thank you, and I'm proud of you. Proud of you
thank
for
you.
starting this.
Yeah.
This is one of those conversations.
It's true.
It's like, do it.
Just
Let's
start.
do it.
It's true.
There's
It's
power
true.
in that.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
hope this inspires some people.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. It's inspiring me, has inspired me. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Asante.
Wasn't that such an inspiring conversation that we've just had with Marley? I think that was a really good one. I am so psyched to continue doing what I'm doing. And I just want to encourage you, if you're just out there, you want to start something, a venture, a startup, a business, doesn't matter. Just get out there. And I like what he said about small steps and believing in yourself. Believe also all this, what people say about you, all these good things that they say about you. Just step out and do it. So remember to share this podcast. If you found it interesting, please feel free to share with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues. Of course, please subscribe to my channel. And if there's any guest that you'd like for me to invite, or any conversation or topic that you'd like for us to tackle, please feel free to drop me a note at the email that's going to be shared down below. And remember, you can always find us here on YouTube and also on Spotify. If you like the audio kind, you're doing your jog or your walk and you want to listen to inspiring stories about how to change, how to grow, and what you need to catalyze yourself, Inflection Point is a place to be. Thank you once again for joining us, and see you next time. Bye.